Hello everyone, my name is Sonali Thakre and I am first year PGDM student of batch 2022 at VS Business School. Today we have with us an industry stalwart holding rich cross-functional business experience of over 30 years. He is the vice president at largest manufacturer of automotive at Classic Strikes Private Limited. He is a meticulous planner with deep knowledge of market requirements of automobile companies. His clarity of thoughts, business sensitivity, and participative style of leadership is noteworthy. A change leader who has played important roles in the turnaround of product development, business development, negotiation, and holds extensive expertise in wide range of marketing skills. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Ram Bhagwat. Thank you, sir, for allowing us to interview you and agreeing to give us more insights into your professional journey and the corporate world. So you're on mute.
It's my pleasure, Sonali. Thank you so much for inviting me on this forum and allowing me to express my thoughts and share my experiences, various experiences that I have had during my journey. So I would be glad to take questions and get going with the answers as such. What to best of my ability.
Yes, sir. So I would like to start by asking, could you please walk us through your professional journey and enlighten us on some of the major challenges that you have faced throughout your career?
Great. Sonali, I have been in this industry for almost 30 years now, as you said, and I'm fortunate enough to have wide experience throughout the career that I have had. And the experience has been into various different fields, because when you talk about any business development or any sales and marketing function as such, what is important here is what kind of exposures you are having, whether it is domestic, whether it is international, whether it is in institutional selling or it is in retail or channel management kind of a profile. So I'm fortunate enough to have experienced in all these profiles or segments that I talked about, and I think that's going to. That is what is actually making me more confident to face challenges in upcoming challenges or the current challenges that we are going through. So if I have to tell my overall journey, I started off my career with Johnson & Johnson in the industrial products division. I worked there. That was my first job, and I was a technical sales representative after my graduation in management. I took that as first assignment, which is a multinational. Johnson & Johnson, as you know, it's a multinational company. However, I was associated with this company in the industrial products division, which is not, it is no longer there with Johnson & Johnson anymore. However, I started off with their industrial products division, and I worked there for about 5 years. We used to sell tapes, institutional tapes, industrial tapes, thermal insulation tapes, or motor rewinding tapes to the industries. And then we had a lot of other graphics and labels, those kind of products also. So that Johnson & Johnson, of course, now it was a division called Permacell. Now it is no longer with Johnson & Johnson, but when we were there, it was Johnson & Johnson. So we had a wonderful experience, wonderful platform over there to take off as our first assignment. Later on, I moved to Shell Lubricants for about 2.5 years. I worked there, and it was again a wonderful experience because again a wonderful multinational to work with, and in a very different field. From industrial products, I was going to the lubricants, and moreover, this was an experience for me into the retail channel segment. In the industry. When I was in OEM or institutional marketing earlier, I moved to the retail channel. Then I worked there for about 2.5 years, but I was placed out of Mumbai for some personal reason. I had to come back to Mumbai, and then I joined Crompton Greaves for a year. Actually, Crompton Greaves I joined as a regional sales in charge in the lighting division. So you can understand right from tapes to the lubricants to the lighting products, and then I moved to a very different industry altogether into packaging. For about 6 to 7 years, I worked there. in the packaging industry with a group called Polesite. And finally, I came to Classic Stripes, where I've been now associated with them for quite a number of years. And we are into the automobile graphics and the grooming products for the surface augmentation. So that's how the overall journey has been. Very exciting, very enriching as such.
And yes, the journey was very much insightful. And this leads me to my next question, that is, looking at this various hurdles faced by you in your professional life and the current challenges hitting the industry. In your opinion, what is the ideal set of skills that a B school graduate should have? And what, according to you, skills are required to be successful in sales and marketing field?
See, I'll tell you, first of all, you are all getting into different fields. You are now, of course, into your graduations or your education. First of all, you have to first decide where you have to move. I was very clear when I passed out from my management, and I said, okay, fine, I want to make my career into sales and marketing. Why? Because the two things that is required and desired by this particular profile is you have to be people-oriented person. You should be, getting connected with people very easily, or understanding what people are talking about. You can, connect with them. One, and secondly, you should be ready to move around. You should be ready to travel a lot, because in sales and marketing, these are the things you have to have. So you have to choose your field accordingly, because many times we see that people would be interested in interacting with the customers, etc. But when it comes to travel, they said, no, I will not be able to travel, or we are not interested in traveling. So these two things, if you have in your mind and if you are liking about it, I think you should venture out into the sales and marketing. But when it comes to the skills, the skills are something which is to be acquired on job. Basic qualifications or basic things that are required, I would say, of course, the communication skills have to be there. You should be well versed with any of the languages. I'm not saying that you should be well versed with only English. It could be Hindi, it could be any vernacular language. But what is most important here is you should be perfect in that communication. That's my personal opinion. Why? Because whenever you are communicating with any customer, customer, what he sees, how you are communicating, how promptly you are communicating is one, but how detailing you are doing in your communication, or how crisp you are in many points, how perfect you are, how you are managing your figures, facts and figures, etc. So communication is going to be a very, very important skill that one must have when you are getting into this thing. Of course, then we talk about negotiation skills or planning skills. Those skills are definitely desired in this kind of a profile. Most importantly, two more important skills that I must talk about is, one is the time management, because customer will not wait for you. Customer will not wait for your call. Customer will not wait for your product. So how you time your entire process, whether it is calling on the customer for the first time, or whether you are giving a presentation to the customer, or you are giving some kind of a quotation to the customer, or you are making your product ready and supplying it to the customer. All these things have to be time bound, and most importantly, you have to time it well. Customer is not going to wait for you, as I said. If you are late, if you are lethargic, if you are showing some kind of a delay in your communications, customer is not going to wait for you. So you have to be managing your time well. Also, you have to be managing your own time when you are talking to a customer. Supposing your customer gives you an appointment at 4 o'clock, whether are you there at 4 o'clock or just before 4 o'clock. These small things are there, but this makes a lot of importance when a customer judges you. It is not, he will not only judge you by your products or your services, but also the overall offerings that you are giving, how punctual you are, how communicative you are, what is the speed that you are communicating at, how perfectly you are communicating, and how perfectly you are giving your product in all senses. So basically, this is what is. So I would say time management in holistic view, if we see, it's going to be very, very important. when it comes to acquiring that skill. Some people are, I mean, at young age like you, people may not be so much concerned about अरे क्या 5 मिनट late हो गया तो क्या होता है. No, it is should not be allowed. That kind of thing. When you have inculcated in your own habits that fine, if I have given some time to somebody, let me be there somewhat made over there. Or maybe in during traffic conditions or some adverse conditions, if you are not able to meet that deadline, how communicative you are to tell the customer that okay, I am 5 minutes late or 2 minutes late, whatever it is. That shows the kind of professionalism as such. That professionalism has to be shown when it comes to any kind of a dealing, and when you are representing a company or you as a sales and marketing person, that's what you must do. When you actually go and meet the customer, what is most important here? Yes, you should be talking to the customer, you should be able to connect with the customer, but another important aspect is how good a listener you are. You should be a very good listener. Because when you are listening to the customer, when you make customer talk, that probing skill has to be there with you. What you must do is you must talk a little and make the customer talk more. If you can manage that, I think you will get a lot of insights from the customer, lot of information from the customer. And then you should, when I'm saying you should be a good listener, not only that you should be just listen it and forget it. No, you should be keeping that in your mind. And using those kind of information once the call is over, and then jotting it down and see what customer had said, what would he mean about by that, and what is the inference out of it, and what action should we be taking on that. So these kind of things which are there. If you're a good listener, you can capture a lot with a customer. So I think these are the main basic things, basic skills that one must talk about it. Apart from, of course, rapport building and all those things will come as you go along. Nothing can be talked about it. Nothing can be taught about it. Those skills you develop on job as you grow, as you mingle with people, talk to them, discuss with them, and then have a kind of socializing with them, and then develop kind of a rapport. So that, of course, then nothing has to be taught about it. But these are the basic skills sets that one must have when he is venturing into this particular field of sales and marketing. So right.
Okay, so that was a very informative information you gave about time management and how to deal with your customers. So, sir, you have been in leadership roles for several years now. Can you tell us about leading and tackling challenges in this VUCA world?
Oh, okay. VUCA world, nowadays this word is getting very, very, very popular. But we must understand what is VUCA. Maybe V stands for volatility, U stands for uncertainty, C stands for maybe complexities, and then A stands for ambiguity. So basically all these words, if you see, they are interconnected. Ultimately what it comes is, world is uncertain, absolutely uncertain. But if I go step by step, you asked about VUCA, I would rather take these 4 alphabets and elaborate on that. VUCA, I mean, when you say volatility, how can you counter that volatility? Volatility in the market is nothing you can do about it. What you can do about it, how you can counter about it, is to have a strong vision. In a sense, when market uncertainties are known, that there could be uncertainty, you have to be deep rooted. For that deep rooting, you have to have vision. Now, when you are talking about a company level, supposing you grow as a leader in the company, as a head of the departments or the director of a company, what you must have is the vision. First of all, your vision has to be crystal clear, and that has to be communicated to your team members in a very, very detailed manner. And then what you can do is you can have a lot of value system attached to the team, with the teams, so that your overall company is well stable and it is deep rooted. If you have that, then you will be able to fight with this or counter this volatility in a very, very great manner. That's what I feel. Uncertainties are going to be there. Uncertainties is, there could be natural calamities, or importantly, there could be, a lot of competition around who would be, playing a lot, having a lot of activities, which is going to affect your businesses. So how I would say vigilant you are when it comes to competition. What are the competition activities? What are the steps that they are taking? How quick, how nimble you are to take that up and actually work upon it and decide your strategy. Strategy, as you know, it's a word. When it comes to a war, when it comes to a competition, you have to have strategy. So for that, arriving at a particular strategy, you have to have a kind of potential substance or potential information for you to then work upon it. So you should be very vigilant about what competition is doing, what the world is about, how the industries are performing. It is related industries are performing. So for example, I'll give you an example of automotive industry. Now in automotive industry, when an automotive has to be made, a lot of steel products are required, or a lot of iron products are required, for example, or a lot of plastic products are required. Now you have to also understand how these industries are moving. When you are trying to, if you foresee that there's going to be a major issue coming up in plastic industry, for example, or there are a lot of regulations coming in plastic industry and things are going to get changed. Now you should be ready to understand, okay, this kind of things are going to come up, and then how do you mold your strategy, how do you mold your own task. Those kind of things have to be worked upon. So that is how you can tackle the uncertainties as such. Then of course we see when we talk about complexities. Complexities can be only resolved by interactions, I would say. Whether it is the interaction with your suppliers, whether it is interaction with your customers, whether it is interaction with your team members, whether it is interactions with your bosses, everything. You ultimately, each and every person in the organization, as a sales and marketing person, you should be clear about what are the company's goals, what are your goals, how the customer is moving, and how we can really align ourselves and collaborate within the teams so that we can tackle these kind of complexities in the industry. So I think this is what we should talk about it. We should consider it always when dealing with the complexities. And when it comes to ambiguities, I would say ambiguities are going to be always there. Somewhat new. You have to be, I would say, adaptable. You have to be very you should be, what is the word? You should be flexible enough, I would say. You should be flexible enough to adopt in your technologies, in your skills. When there is a lot of ambiguity, how we can focus on developing ourselves, developing the company, developing the product, innovating, working on R&Ds, those kind of things. These kind of things have to be there. And I think if we approach this entire uncertainty or entire ambiguities or volatilities, we what is important here is, as a common this thing is how strong a company is within their team members. For example, how they are communicating, whether the vision is clear, whether the team is interacting, whether they are aware of the competition, whether they are really ready to adopt things, whether they are ready to change a lot of things at a speed. It's not that change karna hai, so I will do it at my own pace. No, you have to do it today or yesterday basis. So those kind of things, so you, in and all, you have to be very vigilant about everything, and you should be ideally tackling these things internally within your teams or individually. If I have to say individually, what am I supposed to be doing as a in this VUCA world, as a leader or as an employee of a company or as an entrepreneur? What am I supposed to be doing? I should be, first of all, be vigilant about what is happening around the world day in, day out. I just can't be ignorant about it. Then you have to have very clear vision where I have to go. I'm talking about twofold thing. One is individually as a sales and marketing person, because now you are venturing into this thing. Tomorrow you want to become a leader of your own company, or you have to be an entrepreneur going forward. You have to be crystal clear about these facts. Whether you are handling a particular company or whether you are handling a particular department of a company or a product of a company. Important is how vigilant you are, with what speed you adopt the changes, with what speed do you really scale up, with what speed you enhance your skills. All that would matter. And this is what I think we should be actually working upon. And it's a very tough task, I would say. It's always, it keeps you on your toes every now and then. But that's how, if you have to survive, you have to do that.
Exactly, sir. And as we know that marketing is a dynamic field. So what developments and horizon could open avenues for future opportunities for the students?
See, it is all depending on the liking. As you rightly said, marketing is a very, very vast field. Sales is one of the functions of marketing. Research could be another function of marketing. Product development could be another function of marketing. So, first of all, you as an individual, when you are venturing out of this college and trying to get into an industry, or as I said, want to become an entrepreneur or want to be a part of a particular company, you have to first understand what is your liking. You have to introspect. That is very, very important. Am I good in handling products, development asset? Am I good in innovating? Is my thought process or my thinking ability goes up to that level? Or am I good in the sales? Today, what is marketing? If we typically take Philip Kotler definition of marketing, you have to create needs into customer mind. You would have read this. You have to, you have to create that need into customer mind, and then fulfill with your products or your services. That's how the marketing is. Now, you have to understand whether you are good in probing that customer and getting information and making a particular product, or you are good in, having that kind of a knack to put across things to the customer with the product knowledge that you have about your product. You have to introspect, because each one of you, on this particular call, each one of you would have a different, portfolio to handle. You would, Sonali, you could be good at a particular thing, and Rahul could be, having a particular skill. That skill, this is nothing great. You don't have to get into a very deep thought process as well. You have to just ask these questions yourself. Am I good in creating something? And this you yourself can introspect and see, because up till now, whatever learnings you have done, whatever education you have taken, or whatever normal life that you have lived, have you been able to innovate something, or you are always inclined to innovate something? Are you going to that kind of a product portfolio kind of a thing, product development kind of a thing, or you are good at having some kind of a leadership skill and giving presentations and giving those kind of features of that your product and winning the customer's mind. That's basically the selling part. So you have to decide where I am giving you these kind of open areas for you to zero in on when choosing a particular field that you would like to. I say it's a very, very interesting field. As I said, you get to meet a number of people. You get to meet different people. You get a lot of experiences in this. How, and then you that itself will mold you. That itself will groom you over a period of time, and then you can decide a path. If at all you want to be really getting into sales and marketing in any of this field, any of the product or any of the services for that matter, it's not necessarily only for the product selling. It could be a service offer also, But these are the basic things that you must ask yourself before choosing it. And I'm telling you a very, very simple mantra. In sales and marketing, no strategy is right. The strategy which wins the business is the right strategy. In many of the cases, we experience, "Arey, we have decided this, we have decided that," and ultimately, you can then refine that strategy, or you can revisit that strategy after you have won that particular order or won that particular contract, and then say what has gone right in that particular thing. You would realize, okay, we had thought this, but this has happened. So basically, this is a very, very exciting and interesting field, and it's how you adopt yourself and how you go about it is going to really decide you know your future. But I'm telling you, it's a very big and very, very interesting umbrella. Marketing is a big umbrella, as I said, and there are different facets. You decide where to go depending on these things that you can do.
So according to your answer, that marketing is a field where you get a lot of experience to be, face in your life. So, what are the extra certificates necessary for a B school graduate so that enter?
See, I would say no. I mean, as I said, if you have to really get into innovative field of marketing, in the sense, you have to get into product management or those kind of fields in this, whether you have done some kind of a courses or whether you have attended some kind of seminars, in those kind of manners, which will enrich you, which will trigger your thought processes, those kind of things you can talk about. According to me, I'm also a management graduate. I have done my master's in marketing. However, actual experience is the biggest guide for you. It is not that certificate is going to work. Certificate is definitely required. I also did my graduations. I also did my post graduations, and I had certifications. But I would say that the experience that I gathered in various fields, the people that I met across the globe, that has actually taught me a lot. How how receptive you are in these things, how you attack these people, in the sense how you talk to these people and then make them talk to you, how you develop those kind of rapport, how you understand your competition, how you understand your allied products and allied industries, how you keep a tab on entire movement of the industry, be it related to you, may not be related to you. Because ultimately, when you are going to a customer, you should be able to connect with that customer. Because what happens is, there your certification is not going to give you any kind of certificate is definitely required for you to enter that particular market or for you to enter that particular company. Definitely required, no doubt about it. Unless I had my management graduation, I would not have got into Johnson & Johnson as the biggest giant company that we have. Graduation or post-graduation, etc. is definitely required. But when you ask me about the certifications, these certifications will come as you experience it in the field. It is not that any classroom training certification is going to help you. I don't think so.
Yes, it's said that experience speaks more than words.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So coming to the next question, given the current economic slowdown, what would be the impact in the field of marketing, and what solution will you recommend?
See, this is one of the VUCA words that we talked about. The uncertainties are going to be there, and it is not today's feature. Uncertainties are going to be there today also, tomorrow also, and day after also. What I strongly feel is that how deep rooted you are in your own subject, is going to be very, very important here. And then how you drive your customers, how you drive your teams is going to be another important facet. How you can handle this kind of a tough situation, I would say. I can cite an example, like for we have been going through this COVID situation or virus situation for the last more than a year now. As such, we have had tremendous challenges, to cope with these kind of uncertainties and cope with these kind of slowdowns, I would say. But what is important here is how, if you are deep rooted, first of all, these kind of these kind of events or these kind of calamities cannot uproot you. So whatever you may do, whichever field you choose, whether it is product development or whether it is sales or whether it is research or whatever it is, you have to be mastering that over a period of time. I'm not saying from the certification or a degree point of view, but the kind of experience, the kind of a knowledge gathering that you do. I'm talking to you from a student point of view now. I'm not talking to you from an industry expert point of view. A student, when he ventures out into a particular industry and this very uncertain world, what is important here is how quickly you adopt yourself and how quickly you get knowledge and insight about that particular industry. So, and then if you are there, have that kind of a deep rooting done within the company, and then nothing can challenge you. Then people will look up to you. People will look for solutions up to you. People will ask you about a lot of things, and this will help you, develop your skills, develop your leadership skills. When there is not much of a work because of the slowdowns, because of this thing, enhance your skills. I at this age I'm doing a course on an online course now. Actually, for enhancing my international economics skill, I said, because we have to we are doing a lot of exports and I have to visit a lot of countries. So I need to understand the country's background when I have to connect with people. If I go to Brazil tomorrow and I have to know what is happening, what Brazilians like, whether they like football or whether they like hockey, how I have to talk about Pele and those important, their prime ministers, economic conditions, political conditions, whatever. So you have to enhance your skills in this particular fashion. So when the slowdown is there, you have to first do kind of a skill acquiring things, knowledge acquiring, and then be out with the customer every moment again. What is happening at their end? You should be knowing more so when these kind of situations are there. And if we have been managing it for the last 1 year, and I'm very happy to say that our company has been successfully selling through in this particular tough time, because one, we as an individual, we as a company are very well rooted. One, we have a very good connect with the customers. We are in touch with the customers, and we are molding our strategies in a very, very adaptable manner, in a very, very fast manner. And that's how we can battle this tough times. That's what I see.
Exactly, sir. But the sudden pandemic has instilled a fear among the students regarding the placements and the hiring process. So, how do you think COVID affected the recruitments of freshers, and what will be its effect in the future?
I think it is a very, very temporary phase. Yes, it has happened in last year. It has happened in this financial year. Also, it is going to be there for another maybe couple of months. Also, However, it is a very, very immature way of looking at it, that this situation is going to harm us, or spoil our careers, or we will not have any kind of a. There are openings today in our company, I would say, despite the slowdown, despite the uncertainties. We are recruiting people in R&D. We are recruiting people in different fields. We are recruiting people in marketing at a particular field, because we thought, okay, fine, if you have to really go a particular level as a vision, if you have to look at that, as I said, from VUCA, that vision that we talked about, if that vision is there in your mind, people will go for recruitment. People will look for new talent. People will look for new opportunities. So it is not that it's going to be tough. Yes, it will be tough. I'm not saying that it's going to be very, very easy, but I don't think it's going to really affect. If you are really up to the mark, if you are really standing out, I don't think there is going to be any issue. It could be a very, very temporary phase, a month or two here and there, and things should be all right.
Yes, sir. So, last but not the least, the question is, what is the best management advice received by you?
Come again, sorry.
What is the best management advice received by you?
Received by me?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I have learned one particular mantra for us to be successful as a sales and marketing professionals. we used to call. I mean, I have learned that mantra during my first assignment in Johnson Johnson. That you have to be close to the customer. You know, understand customer needs, innovate, and harvest. So these are the 4 points. If you remember, be close to the customer. When I say be close to the customer, is that be around, be open, have your ears and eyes open, be vigilant, and grasp things. Be close to the customer, understand customer needs. When I say understand customer needs, it is not that what is customer required, and you have to understand their hidden needs also, or underlined needs also, or you have to understand what they are talking about, what they are going to go about, where the industry can go. So a lot of things. And when you understand all these things, you have to innovate. Now, innovate could be in product, it could be in the way you address that particular customer, process. It can be innovation in anywhere. Innovation is what you have to do things differently. Which customer is looking at. Ultimate aim is to make that customer happy. That delightness has to be there at the customer's place. Then only you can win orders and keep on winning the orders year after year. So you have to innovate, and once you do these things, definitely you can harvest, you can reap the fruits. So I think this is what I have always kept in my mind, that this is the best advice that you asked me, which I have received in my life, which I have been following, is I be close to the customer, understand customer needs, innovate and harvest. If you keep these things in mind, I think anybody can be successful in life. I'm sure about it.
It was a very interactive and insightful session. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule to interact with us and giving us a sneak peek into the professional world. I'm sure that students of our college will gain some substantial and noteworthy insights from this interview and learn from it. Thank you so much, sir.
It has been my pleasure. I would I take this opportunity to brief you and tell you that I'm open for any kind of suggestions that you want to take from my side, advice that you want to take from my side, whatever little experience that I have had, whatever different fields that I have experienced and explored. I would be happy to guide you whenever you require. So it's very great that you called me and made me talk so much, so that and I'm sure I hope that it has given you some kind of an insight about this field, and it will help you decide the path that you want to take. I wish the entire team a very great success, and thank you so much once again.
Thank you.